this is Ed Roy with Global Data Fusion, and welcome to our demonstration. This is designed to show you the workings of the Global Data Fusion system, basically the interface that we have with our clients. This is how our clients come to us through the web and enter the data that we can then use to run backgrounds for your enterprise. Before we start the demonstration, I want to point out one thing. First of all, welcome to our new website. We have redesigned the website to make it much more functional and much more informative, and hopefully you'll find some good information here that may answer some of your questions. One of the things we're very proud of is the fact that we're members of the National Association of Professional Background Screeners, and for that reason we've entered our logo, or their logo, on our page. Some of the other organizations that we're proud to be a part of are here as well. So, on with the demonstration. This is how our customers interact with us, and at any point you can come back to this and use it as a tutorial if you have any questions about how to enter data for the clients or the applicants that you want to do backgrounds for. First of all, the client login shows three separate login possibilities. One is the general client login. That's the one that you would use under normal circumstances. The IAA, or the Individual Applicant Assessment Login, is something entirely different, but a really good service that you may be interested in, especially in light of what's going on in Washington and the federal regulations. So we'll talk more about that in another video. This morning we're going to use a demonstration server, and this is an exact duplicate of the live server, but it allows us to demonstrate the system without actually being in the traffic of the live server. So let me click on this, and notice that you get a possibility of a login. Now here you enter the credentials that we've given you as a client. And there are many variations of what we can do for you as a client as far as different enterprise locations or different people or different permissions for individuals. This morning we're going to pretend that we're Sally Jones and that we represent the Acme Widget Company. Once we've established our credentials, then we will be allowed into the system to see the dashboard. Now, the dashboard is a very straightforward system. It's a tabular system, much the same as you're familiar with seeing on your browsers. We have tabs at the top. This is the Home tab. Notice right under it is the New Order, and that's a very important aspect of this dashboard. Then you can go back and click on Orders to see which orders you have done in the past. You can check your invoices. We'll look at that in a moment. All of the applicants that you enter remain in our system permanently. So at any point, you can go back and do a relook at any applicant's background. And of course, categories tells you what you have run as far as the different products that we have. So let's go back to the home system and notice that there are some quick click items here. You can see the recently received reports today, last 3 days, last 7 days, last month. Recently submitted reports, again with some various time frames, and then you can also look at orders entered today, and we'll go back and see this. We keep you on our side of the desk, so as soon as you enter an order, you can go right back in and see how we're doing as far as progress toward the completion of that background. So this morning we'll start with the basics, and that is, if you want to enter the information for a new client or a new applicant, you simply go to the upper left-hand screen and click on New Order. Now, here are the entry options that you have. First of all, we know that you, as the recruiter, Sally Jones, in this case this morning, are the one entering the data. The location of the signed authorization, as you know, because of the EEOC, the federal regulations, we have to have a signed authorization before we can do a background. Now, occasionally we are audited by the federal government, so it's a good idea for you to have on hand at all times those reports or those authorization forms signed by the applicant. We make it very easy because in our system you can actually scan and upload that authorization form, so it becomes a part of this person's record. Never having to worry about where that document is located. It's always here in residence on our system, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. If you represent a particular department in your company, let's say accounting, then you can enter your department at that point. So now we have the department and the recruiter for you, Sally Jones. So this is an a la carte system. You can do as much or as little in-depth drill downs as you want on an individual applicant. We suggest some basic packages, and one, for example, is going to be the multi-jurisdictional database check. Don't pay any attention to these prices. We'll customize a package for you with individualized prices. Let's say you wanted to do a county criminal. That's where we actually send representatives of our company to the courthouses. We have people in every county and parish in the United States. We can put boots on the ground in that courthouse and get back from a physical record search to you within a couple of days. So that's a very important asset as well. We can check personal references, degree verification, driving history, and let's do a driving history just for the heck of it this morning. Latch check is something specialized for the medical industry in Louisiana. We're authorized agents of Louisiana State Police to access the state police computers, and so we do an awful lot of those. Part of the multi-jurisdictional database check is the terrorist watch list check, also the sex offender check. So there are a number of products that are balled up into this multi-jurisdictional. So basically it's an a la carte system. You choose what you want and then go forward. So the applicant's name, let's say that we're going to do Roberts, or let's say Robert. Actually, I was putting in the last name. Let's say the applicant's first name is Robert and the last name is Doe. So Robert Doe. And if there are AKAs that are present with that individual, you can enter them here. Generally, we don't encourage that because we can detect AKAs when we do a Social Security trace, and then we can also run criminal records based on that Social Security trace. So here's the address information, and let's see, Easy Street. That ought to be a good place to live. And we'll do New Orleans, Louisiana, and we'll make up a zip for there, 70110. Social Security number is entered in a digits-only format, so we'll do that made-up Social Security number. Date of birth, you have two choices as to the format, so I'll do the easy one, 02151973, and that's all you need to do for that. Driver's license number and the state of issuance. We are connected directly with the motor vehicle divisions of all of the states, so we can do some very quick work for you with that. And we have a couple of little questions. Has the applicant told you that they've ever been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor? If the answer is yes, give us a little bit of information. Let's say a DWI in Alabama. Now, if you want to, you can also track the applicant's phone number and the applicant's email address. That is not required. If this is a Louisiana latch check for the state police, then we'd have to include race and gender here. And then once this information is entered, you hit next, and this brings you to our check your work page, basically. So we can go through all of the stuff. We're running Robert Doe. The department that's running it is accounting. The recruiter's you, Sally Jones. Here's the Social Security number of the applicant, the date of birth, driver's license number, and everything is complete. That's the total price of the background. And you can now notice that this is a deletable item if you'd like to delete it at this point, or if you say I agree, this changes to submit. Now before we submit this, let me call your attention to this upload feature. This is where you would click and then navigate to the scanned authorization form, and at this point you can upload it into this person's record. It remains there permanently. So let's say we've done that. We'll now submit the order. Once we've done that, you can close the screen and you can go back to orders, and actually let's stay on the home screen and let's say recently received reports, recently submitted reports today. Let's look at what we've just submitted. So here's Robert Doe, and by clicking on the applicant ID, we'll notice that no progress has been made yet on this particular thing. And there's a note here that says, hey, we're not done. This is still pending, so don't use this as a completed background. Now let's jump to a person that I happen to know is one of our test subjects, Margaret Noel. And we're going to pretend that we ran this several days ago. I've added a tremendous amount of fabricated data, if you will, to this background so that you can see what the format looks like when you receive the report. Incidentally, once we have completed the report, you receive an email and it says, hey, come back into the system and take a look. Your report on this particular applicant is ready to go. So let's click on the applicant ID and notice that there's no more disclaimer here saying this is not complete. This is now complete, and this is what the background report format looks like. This is the executive summary. If there's something in red, that means it's something you probably should look at. The green generally means there's a negative or a non-consequential return from that particular information. Let's look at the litany of things that we've done here. Actually, this is a report that I threw the kitchen sink at just to show you what a whole lot of data looks like. We've done county criminals in all of these places, and you might notice that there are a couple that have two county criminals in the same jurisdiction. That would be because there are two different names that person may have used. Again, as I said, this is a report that is incredibly extensive. You'd probably not be inclined to run this much information. Education verification, we verified this person on the left said that they were a Bachelor of Science recipient in accounting, and the graduation date was in 1998. That's the information provided by the applicant, supplied data, and this is the verified data, and that's going to be the format throughout. So we verified that this person had a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting, and in fact was issued in 1998. So the employment verification, much the same. Applicant supplied data, verified data. Court information, all of these are green. They show negative reports, except when we get down to the global report. We found 4 hits in the global terrorist watch list. And this person happens to be on the United Nations sanctions list, so that's good information for you to have, especially if you're considering employment. You'd want to look further into that or find out exactly why that person is on that list. Then we come down to the national criminal. We did a survey throughout the United States, all jurisdictions, and we found that in St. Louis, Missouri, there was a sex offender record for this particular individual. This person was charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault, and so we'd want to report that to you for sure. The national criminal goes on again with another hit here, same offense, St. Louis. And again, this would maybe benefit from a drill down where we'd send people to the courthouse to see exactly what the disposition of that was. Now then, let's take a look at the Social Security trace. This gives you the name of the individual, and as I said, this is fictitious data. Gives you the name of the individual and location and time frame when that individual was functioning at that address with that Social Security number. So this gives you a tremendous insight into where that person has been as well. Here's an employment credit report. We have a direct contact with all 3 of the major credit bureaus, and we can get this data for you very, very quickly if you require a credit report. Some states don't allow that. Louisiana does, and quite a few do, but some states are now disallowing that. Here's what the motor vehicle record report looks like, and again, I don't think I would hire this person because they're certainly not as a driver. Because of the fact that there's a long litany of problems with the driving history in this particular case. Now, down at the very bottom of the report, there's something that's very important. We have some built-in productivity tools for you. If you are not going to hire this person based on their background report, then the EEOC and according to the FCRA say that you have to send them a pre-adverse action letter, and then 5 days later you have to send them an adverse action letter. So we have pre-crafted those for you. For example, if you want to send this person a pre-adverse action letter, This is going to Margaret Noel in Tucson, Louisiana, and the subject, it's all pre-formatted for you, so all you have to do is copy this and paste it onto your stationery. And it says, these people, Global Data Fusion in Lafayette, Louisiana, are the ones that did your background. Please look over your background. We'll send you a copy of it. If you have any questions about it or you have any issues that you'd like to raise, then contact Global Data Fusion. Those are the ones that did the background. 5 days later, you can then send them an adverse action letter, and it says, look, we regret to inform you that we are not going to hire you because you don't meet our criteria. If you would like, you can contact these credit bureaus if a credit report was involved in this. There's the contact information, and also you can contact Global Data Fusion further if you need to. So this is again a copyable and pastable item that you can paste on your own stationery, and we've had our clients tell us that it's a tremendous time saver. So that is basically all you have to do in order to enter the information and see the information on Margaret Noel, the person that we just entered. Before we leave this demo, let me show you very quickly that we are going to take a look at the invoices, and these are done electronically every month. We send you an email that says please check into the system and see your invoices. In this case, we're going to go from January 1st, let's say 2010, so I can make sure that I have everything in there. And here are a couple of invoices. Now here is a summary invoice, and notice you can also see whether your company has paid the invoice or it's not paid. This is a summary invoice. This gives you a pretty good idea of what was run. Actually, the recruiter that ran it, the department that recruiter represents. Here's the applicant ID. Here are the applicants that you ran. If you want to see the individual report, then you would just simply click on this, and there's the report for that. Here's the total, and here's the total for the month. We also offer the convenience of paying online with PayPal, or you can send us a check. But this can be set up if you have different divisions of your enterprise, where we can bill each division separately if your accounting folks require that. And it's a very pliable type situation where we can make the shoe fit for you to where it's easiest on your company. That is the system in essence. As again I said, the information remains in here permanently, and you can always access the information at just a few clicks of your mouse. Thank you so much for the time in watching this. This is Global Data Fusion. My name is Ed Roy. I'm the owner of the company. Let me just close by saying that virtually every background screening company in the United States draws from the same data. Our mission is to not treat you like a number and not to act like a large company. We want to know you individually, and we want to help you. If you have questions, that's why you talk to us personally when you call, and not some amorphous cloud-based system that you're just a number. So please consider us, and we would love to have you on board as our clients. Thank you very much.